The model's that SKY4153 Ice Maker BCP. Looks like this. It's filthy. Got a little crack on the pin there. I don't know, maybe some tape or something, but we have to clean this sucker. When it comes on, poured water in the sump. It's dirty, but it pumps, cools. But the fans back there, those fans, there's 3 of them. 1, 2, and one a little further down. They were like slipping on the shaft. I think they're worn. All 3 of them are kind of slipping. I gotta get to them. I'm gonna try to figure out how to do that. I'm gonna open up this ice maker. Just 2 screws, one right there, one right there. They told me something was wrong with the fans. I plugged it up yesterday and added water to it. And yeah, sure enough, once I added water, I mean, this thing is filthy. I need to clean it too, but once I added water, it started, compressor started and all, and float switch got satisfied, started process. Water was running across. But the fans weren't spinning properly. They were real slow. There's 3 little fans that look like computer fans down there. So I'm going to open it up. I'm going to remove all these screws on the back panel, remove that, and then try to get to this side panel because the motors are in there, that corner. So here's the back of this panel. I removed this back panel. And I'm going to start figuring out how to remove the side panel. Most likely got to remove this front panel. So underneath here there's some screws. There's one right there, and one down here. And down here as well, the front panel. 1, 2. I don't see anything else, so I'm going to start there. So once you remove the 2 screws at the bottom, that one and the one on this corner, this thing just snaps down. Straight up and out. So be careful because there looks like there's a wire there for the little control board or whatever that is. Here's the condenser. I think behind it right here are the motors, and there's 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. Also, once you remove the front panel, there's a few screws here holding the side panel, and probably this one and this one. I'll probably have to remove this top too to get this side panel to access the fan motors right here. So these, yeah, there's only 4. One here, and the same other corners, and you can actually flip this upward, let it pivot right there and the spot that it's got. And then you remove another screw that's right here, and there's a few screws here holding this panel. Now you can just, should be able to pull this panel. Okay. Oh, I left the screw right here. There. Now we're going to have to remove those 3 fans, and there's 3 of them, and open them up and maybe oil them, try to clean them up. So it looks like this motors have some connections in the back there. They're just little Molex or whatever you call them, those connectors. Can't see them, but they're right there. Unfortunately, they're on the other side, so we're going to have to remove the other panel of this machine too. This side over here. No problem. So in this case, I'm having to move the unit up and down. I got to be careful not ripping or pulling on these wires. I went ahead and disconnected this harness very carefully, very gently. I slowly pulled it off the board, and I think it looks okay. Nothing bent or anything. So I can remove that lid because now it's just going to be dangling here. I can't do that. Now I remove the other side. Now this thing is bones, skeleton. But we can get to these Molex connectors for the fans. Got to remove these 3 and then start taking off these screws on the motors. There's 2 on each one. And remove those motors, open them up, and oil them. So I removed all 3 fans, 1, 2, 3. I popped this one open, but this one this is just plastic. I had to break the back side open. And yeah, it was real dirty. All I did was just lube that little hole right there with some PB Blaster. And it started spinning real nice. Now the only thing I'm noticing is that it's got a lot of play. The shaft has play. Look at, but it spins fine. So I'm gonna oil it back up, put a tape on the back there, so put the little piece back in, and do the same to the others. Meanwhile, I'll probably order them. They're like $10 each fan, so we'll see how long this lasts, because this is probably going to be happening over and over. These little fans are shit. So I found that just dropping lube into this spot right there does a trick. See, watch. No, it's not tight, but it's, see how it comes to a stop pretty quick. This one I already took off and lubed it up. Look at the difference. My finger. See that? Big time difference compared to. It gets dry right there in the shaft. So what I'm doing, I'm breaking off that tab, relubing, stuffing a little piece of napkin, just a small one with full of lube in it, and taping over. That's the difference between one that hasn't been cleaned and one that has been cleaned. The dirty one, oh, I can't see that. I'll just spots. This one's clean and oiled. Big difference. Well, looks like success so far. Fans are spinning at what looks to me like full blast. Heard them take off, all three of them. Now we're just waiting to make sure, see if it's going to make ice. I mean, this thing's dirty, but I'm waiting. I hear some hissing of the refrigerant, so, and the pipe was hot earlier. We'll see. So, this is the second batch. The first one was really poor. This one we got a little bit more ice than last time. It's starting to show. There's some cubes right there. We'll see. Well, the cycle seems to take about 20 minutes. I've been timing it. But this one looks a lot better than last one. Still not even, but we're gonna have more ice this one. And it actually has a countdown timer. Oh, it's saying 1 minute. So, let's see how it looks. This time it's almost a full slab, except for this bottom corner. The rest of it looks pretty full. First time it was very little. I guess the water needed to get cold, and then I just kept adding a little bit of water to the sump so it won't get too low. But we're about to go into defrost. Alright, we just hit defrost. Or not defrost, it's referred to as harvest. And I know this thing is dirty, so I'm gonna have to clean it. Let's see what it's gonna do. This is the first true batch of ice, I guess. The first one was really poor. Should dump it any second now. Start separating. Here comes a slab of ice. Ooh.